This is my first dedicated TBR video that I have filmed in a long time. I used to film these like every single month. It's been a few years, but I finally decided it was time to bring back a TBR video. So I picked out 10 books, which you cannot really see, but I will do my best to lift them. 10 books here off of my physical TBR that I want to read this fall. I do not expect to read all of these in September, so that's why we're doing a fall TBR, but these books are on my TBR for September as well. I did a video where I went through my entire book collection and turned around all of the books that I have not read, just to kind of get some numbers on how many books I own versus how many I have read and haven't read. And I'll have that video linked down below in case you're interested in checking out my entire physical TBR, but needless to say, it was a bit humbling, and I've been trying really hard since I filmed this video like a month ago to work my way through my physical TBR. So that's why I picked these books. They are all like fall vibes or like spooky vibes or some sort of fall energy, and that's why I chose them. We're gonna go through these. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy, and let's go ahead and get started. I will have all of the books that I am showing you today linked in the description box in case you are interested in reading any of these this fall. I did want to quickly go over my August TBR and how that went. So I chose 5 books to read during the month of August. My goal was to read 2. It is officially September when I'm filming this. So this was my 5 stack of books. Let me turn these around. This was my August TBR, was like kind of like my last little squeeze of summer before I'm fully embracing the fall months. So of these 5 books, I actually finished 3 of them, and I'm halfway through the 4th. I did not read Happy Place whatsoever, so this is going back to the physical TBR. There goes my phone. But anyway, these 4 books right here, I read the bottom 3. We have Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, Regretting You by Colleen Hoover, which is getting turned into a movie. In October it comes out, so I highly recommend reading it. Every Summer After by Carly Fortune, and I am about 60% of the way through A Court of Frost and Starlight. I'm currently listening to this on audiobook, so this one will be finished very soon, but I technically didn't finish it in August. So either way, successful reading month for me. I'm very happy with how that turned out. So just wanted to catch you up on that little wrap up, and now let's dive into my fall TBR. So the first book on my fall TBR is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Now this is a book that I did purchase very recently. I have been craving a true like fall themed, fall vibes book, and I didn't think I really owned many, so I did decide to buy this one. So we're adding this to the physical TBR, but this is a grumpy sunshine, small town, spicy romance. A girl inherits a pumpkin spice cafe coffee shop. Then we have the grumpy farmer, and yeah, I think this sounds great. It's definitely not anything like probably life-changing, but who knows? There's like a ton of these books in this series. I think there's like a cinnamon bun one, there's like a Christmas themed one, so very like seasonally appropriate, I feel like. So I'm looking forward to reading this one. I think it'll be a quick, easy, light read. But we'll see. So this is the first one on my TBR. Next we have The Ex-Hex. I got this from Book of the Month a few years ago. I started this for sure. I don't know how far I made it, but I DNF'd this book. I want to give it another shot because I have heard good things. I also believe there's a sequel to this book, or at least like a spin-off or something like that. I don't know. This is by Erin Sterling, and I really have no idea what this is about. It says, never mix vodka and witchcraft. 9 years ago, Vivian Jones nursed her broken heart like a young witch would. Vodka, weepy music, bubble baths, and a curse on the horrible boyfriend. Sure, Vivi knows she shouldn't use her magic this way, but with only an orchard hayride scented candle on hand, she isn't worried it will cause him anything more than a bad hair day or two. That is until Reese, descendant of the town's ancestors, breaker of hearts, and annoyingly just as gorgeous as he always was, returns to Graves Glen, Georgia. What should be a quick trip to recharge the town's ley lines and make an appearance at the annual fall fair turns disastrously wrong. With one calamity after another striking Reese, Vivi realizes her silly little ex-hex may not have been so harmless after all. Suddenly, Graves Glen is under attack from murderous wind-up toys, a pissed-off ghost, and a talking cat with some interesting things to say. Vivi and Reese have to ignore their off-the-charts chemistry to work together to save the town and find a way to break the breakup curse before it's too late. You know, I don't think I've ever read that synopsis before, and I don't know how good that sounds, but I'm willing to give it another shot. So The Ex-Hex is number 2 on our list. Next, we have Daisy Jones and the Six. I have no idea, like seasonally, if this is like giving fall vibes, but this book is actually a TV show now, and I have read one Taylor Jenkins Reid book and I was not a fan. It was a 2-star read for me. It was Malibu Rising. Did not like it at all. I thought it was really pointless and I did not connect with the characters whatsoever. So I'm willing to give her another shot. I have this book and I also have The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, but I'm putting this one on the fall TBR because I would like to watch the show. I believe this is written sort of like, I don't know if it's like documentary style. I've heard the audiobook is good, but I see where it's like Billy says this, Graham says this, Karen, and it's kind of like a script almost is how it looks in the book. So I have no clue what this is about. I think it's about a band. I think Daisy Jones and the Six is a band, but other than that, I'll be going into this completely blind, and I am looking forward to reading it and then watching the show. I love watching book adaptations, like shows, movies, things like that. I just feel like it's so interesting to see what they choose to keep or change from the book to the screen. So I'm willing to give Taylor Jenkins Reid another shot, but I don't really have the highest hopes. Next, we have The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. I bought this book so long ago, and I was so interested in this when I bought it. I don't know why I never read it. The synopsis of this sounds so good. I honestly haven't read it in years, like the synopsis, but I definitely need to read it to you ASAP. Where is it? Okay, so it says, France 1714. In a moment of desperation, a young woman named Adeline meets a dangerous stranger and makes a terrible mistake. As she realizes the limitations of her bargain, being able to live forever without being able to be remembered by anyone she sees, Addie chooses to flee her small village as everything she once held dear is torn away. But there are still dreams to be had and a life to live, and she is determined to find excitement and satisfaction in the wide, beckoning world, even if she will be doomed to be alone forever. Or not quite alone, as every year on her birthday, the alluring Luke comes to visit, checking to see if she is ready to give up her soul. Their darkly thrilling game stretches through the ages, seeing Addie witness history and fight to regain herself as she crosses oceans and tries on various lives. It will be 300 years before she stumbles into a hidden bookstore and discovers someone who can remember her name, and suddenly everything changes. So basically, she makes a deal with the devil that she can live forever, but the catch is that she cannot be remembered. Nobody remembers her the next day. So it's kind of like a double-sided deal here, until one day someone remembers her. And I feel like that is such an interesting concept. I've never read anything by V.E. Schwab, but I know she has a few very popular books. So I will be reading this book this fall. I'm so excited. I feel like there was a lot of hype around this book years ago. Like, I probably bought this in like 2021 if I had to guess. It says copyright 2020, first edition October 2020. But again, I probably picked this up obviously either in 2020 or 2021. But yeah, I'm so interested in this book, so I cannot wait to read it. And if you've read any of these books, please let me know in the comments if you liked them. Maybe if you didn't, I don't know, but no spoilers, please. Another book that I have had for ages, The House in the Cerulean Sea. This I didn't realize was like spooky, witchy kind of vibes. I don't even know what this is about. I don't think I've even read the synopsis, but I saw someone talking about this on Book Talk recently, and they mentioned that it was like kind of witchy or like magic, I don't know, something. So I was like, you know what, let me add this to my fall TBR, because I bought this again probably like 4 years ago and I have not read it. So do I go into it blind? I don't know. It says a magical island, a dangerous task, a burning secret. It's kind of mysterious. I do believe there's a second book out. I think it's a series, or at least like some sort of interconnected books. This is by TJ Klune. I think I might wait to read the back. I don't know. You know what? Let's read the back, because I feel like we need a little convincing here. Because the name of the book I feel like gives you nothing. So it says Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the department in charge of magical youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment: travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. When Linus arrives at the strangest of islands, he's greeted by a series of mysterious figures, the greatest mystery of which is Arthur, the master of the orphanage. As Linus and Arthur grow closer, Linus discovers the master would do anything to keep the children safe, even if it means the world has to burn, or worse, his secret comes to light. The House in the Cerulean Sea is an enchanting love story, masterfully told, about the profound experience of discovering an unlikely family in an unexpected place and realizing that family is yours. Okay, so sounds like found family, obviously magic. Very interesting. I had no clue what this was about. That sounds so good. I feel like this would be a really good TV show. So that one we will definitely be reading very soon. I'm doing these not like in reading order. I tried to kind of like organize them by genre-ish in like telling them to you, but I don't have like a reading order picked out. I'm a mood reader, so whatever I'm feeling like reading is what I'm gonna read. Next we have the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This is obviously I don't know, spooky season, fall vibes book, vampires. I have no idea what this is about. This one, at least the title is a little bit more descriptive, so like I feel like I have an idea. I bought this book because I thought the title was interesting and I loved the cover of it. But again, I have had this for many years. This one is copyright 2021, first paperback edition. I don't even know if that's like how you can tell when this book was printed. I'm pretty sure that is. So I've had this for about 4 years. I have not read it. Don't really know what it's about. It says, Patricia Campbell's life has never felt smaller. Her husband is a workaholic, her teenage kids have their own lives, her senile mother-in-law needs constant care, and she's always a step behind on her endless to-do list. The only thing keeping her sane is her book club, a close-knit group of Charleston women united by their love of true crime. Then James Harris walks into her life during the summer of 1993. He makes her feel things she hasn't felt in years, but when children on the other side of town go missing, Patricia wonders if he's connected. Is he a Brad Pitt, a Bundy, or something much worse? Oh my goodness. Okay, well this is definitely giving fall spooky season energy, so that sounds pretty interesting. Sometimes you just gotta read the synopsis of a book to decide that you want to read it. The next 2 books I have are both kind of like spookier, thrillery type books, I think. This one is Then She Was Gone by Elisa Jewell, another book that I've had for a very long time. Honestly, most of these books I've had for a long time. I don't really buy a whole lot of books anymore. Occasionally I'll buy one here or there if there's like a new release or something, but I'm not out here buying 10, 15 books in one order or anything like that any longer. So Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. This one I believe is about a lady who has a daughter and she goes missing, and then like many years later she meets a man who has a daughter who looks like exactly like her daughter. So it's kind of like a spooky, like thrillery type book, I think. It sounds really good to me. I don't really read a lot of like psychological thrillers or spooky books in general. I'm like very sensitive to things like that. I get scared so easily, but I am interested in this one and I'm hoping that it's not too scary, and I can appreciate psychological thrillers. I don't really like paranormal scary stuff, so we'll see. But yeah, Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. And then the other one is The Silent Patient. This one was like so viral on Book Talk. And I've had this one again for a very long time. This one, I don't even know what this is about. I think it's like this guy's wife like commits a crime and then she doesn't speak or something like that. Oh yeah, she commits a crime. Oh my goodness. So a lady kills her husband and then never speaks another word. And then we've got a criminal psychotherapist, Theo, who is captivated by the story and tries to figure out the mystery, I suppose. That sounds very interesting. I'm assuming there's like a plot twist. There's always a plot twist in these like psychological thrillers. I love a good plot twist. So I'm excited to read those. I haven't seen spoilers for them, so I've made it this far. I can't hope that forever I will be spoiler free, so I gotta read those while I can. We're down to our last two books on my fall TBR, and they are both fantasy books. So next up we have Shield of Sparrows. I got this Target exclusive copy. Look at the pages, the sprayed edges. I love this copy. Is so beautiful, and I was recommended this by Allie, Miss Allie Dawson. She read this book and told me that I needed to get it, so I picked it up from Target, obviously, and I am super excited to read this. I read like 10 fantasy books in a row, and so I needed to like break it up with something else. So the August TBR was like my break from fantasy. I read the first few books in ACOTAR. I read like all of these books over here. So yeah, I needed a little break, but I do want to read this really bad. I honestly have no idea what it's about, but I kind of want to go into this one blind just because I feel like it might make more of an impact. I don't know. Let me know if you think I should read the synopsis of this or if I should go in blind if you've read this one. But on the back here it just says, being the sparrow isn't an honor, it's a trap. So don't know what that means, but sounds like it could be good, and I've heard so many good things about that book as well. And our final book on my September/fall TBR is A Court of Silver Flames. This is the 5th book in the ACOTAR series. Book 6 has been announced. This was like a few weeks ago at this point that Sarah J. Maas announced that the final drafts of book 6 were, or first drafts, I don't know. Some draft of book 6 was complete. So this is the 5th book. This is a thick book. Oh my goodness. So we're gonna be reading this one at some point this fall. I do want to read Throne of Glass and Crescent City before I read book 6. So I'm gonna have to like binge some Sarah J. Maas books because we don't have a release date for book 6, but I want to be ready. I want to be ready for book 6 to come out. So once I finish A Court of Frost and Starlight, I will move on to A Court of Silver Flames. I have not had any ACOTAR spoilers either. Like, I don't know how I made it so many years without any ACOTAR spoilers, but thank goodness, because wow, what a story. If you haven't read ACOTAR by now, you need to. It's such a fun, good story. It's great for beginner fantasy readers, honestly. Everyone talks about the world building and how complicated it is, which is what put me off, but I was like, this is so simple. So I wish I started it sooner, but it's a great series and I highly recommend it. I do have some honorable mention books, and that is the Harry Potter series. I have never read the Harry Potter books. I've seen the movies, loved the movies, and I feel like it's time that I read the Harry Potter books. So I would love to get to these books this fall, but I don't want to be too overly ambitious. I feel like Harry Potter is such good like fall content. Like, I love the Harry Potter movies during the fall, honestly any time of year, but I really want to read these books at some point soon, and I feel like fall would be like the perfect time. So hopefully I can get to these this fall, but I'm not like officially putting them on the TBR, so that's why they are an honorable mention. I have a goal to read every single day in September. I set the goal originally in August, and I read 20 out of 31 days in August. Any amount, any duration, doesn't matter. So I'm gonna try that again this month for September. Read every single day, just even if it's a page, I count that. So I just want to try to keep my reading momentum going, and it's something that I love so much. And when I stop reading, I don't know why I stop. Obviously I'm gonna get into a reading slump at some point, because we all do, but yeah, my goal for September is to, I don't know, maybe read like 3 or 4 books of the ones that I showed you. We'll see. I read 3.5 in August, and I feel like I definitely could have read more, but that was like my first time like picking out books for like a TBR in years. So I really liked it. I thought it was fun. I had a few to choose from, and I was still able to get some mood rating in. So I'd love to read like 3 or 4 books in September. Even more would be great, but it would be great if I could read all 10 of these before December, because once I get to December, I am not going to want to read a vampire slaying book or something like that. I'm gonna want like cutesy Hallmark Christmassy romance books, I feel like. So hopefully I can get these 10 books read, with the addition of Harry Potter maybe, before we hit December, but I don't know, we'll see. Let me know what is on your fall TBR or your September TBR. What books are you looking forward to reading this season? And give me any recommendations that you might have. If you've read any of the ones that I talked about today, get me hyped up to read these books. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Like I said, all of the books that I mentioned will be linked in the description box. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!